Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 27 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Isn't that what I do? Did I just drop it in there? Or am I crazy? I just dropped it in there. How do I use these things again? I thought that was going to be very straightforward. Today I'm setting up a Botania area. So, following the theme that I did with my Ars Nouveau area, I want to set up an area where Britannia can live, and then add a portal to it. So that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Warp portals. Deconstruct a portal, build a frame source stone, done, and its variants. Provide a full source star nearby, then throw a warp scroll. Yeah, that's it. I need the source. Haha. Not a problem. The only thing I'm considering is if I want to have my warp portal be somewhere a little bit more easily accessible. I mean, it's not obviously hard to get to now, but it's like an extra few steps. There we go. Nice. Okay, cool. And then, you know what I'm going to need as another source jar? Come on, you. For the portal home. So not a big deal. I like that that doesn't use source to keep the portal open though, or to get home. Like that's cool. So how do you guys like my Britannia room? A little work in progressy, but it's getting there. You know, figured I want it to look a little different than the other room. So obviously filling it in with different materials. Little one note, right? A little one note on the walls, but meh. It's all good, right? And I made the ground a little bit grassy. I might throw something, you know, a little decorative on the walls. Well, I'm not good at that stuff. You guys just know that's not in my skill set. That is not a thing that I am capable of doing well. But we'll see if I can pull it off. Something nice-ish. Something nice-ish. So how's that look? Is that cool? I think so. Right? Yeah, having this somewhere else might be cool. We'll see. But for now, let's let you refill. I am loving how good this whole setup has been. The whole Sourceberry thing. Really pretty nice. No complaints at all. Zero notes. Loving it. And then this whole thing is going really well too. All right. Nice. So I want to move my Britannia thing into that area. Should be pretty straightforward to do. How's my mana doing? I'm at a quarter pool. All right, so let me get another diamond here. Boop. And then we can combine that diamond to make a mana tablet. And then we can drop the tablet in there. And that'll absorb all the mana for me. Because if you break the pool with mana in it, you lose the mana. And that was annoying enough to get, so I don't want to have that happen. Plus, you can see I already filled up a tablet with some mana that I produced between episodes. So that's looking good to me. Let's move all this stuff. Beautiful. Oh, good, it's raining. Said no one ever. Hi, look at this place. Starting to look pretty fancy down here. Fancy in extreme air quotes. So I'll do that, and then I will have probably a spreader, and then my pool, and then my other spreader. So let's see if I do that, and then that, and then that, and then that. That should be cool. All right, check this out. I learned the Conjure Water spell, and you can totally just do that. Oh, that's cool. You have to shift click it, but it works. So I've got mana running again here. I haven't come up with a good way to generate more mana, but what I want to do is probably break into the next tier of Botania by opening up the portal to Elfheim, and then we'll see what kind of, you know, generational flowers unlock from there, and then we'll decide in a cool way to make mana. But this will be my Botania area. This is where I'll set up the mana enchanting. This is where I'll do any other Botania-related activities. And remember, there's a lot of cool stuff from Botania. You know, I could totally get myself like a nice Sojourner sash. Classic favorite of mine. Really nice you know, movement speed buff plus uphill step assist and all that good stuff that you get. Um, you know, pretty cool. And then a few other gadgets and toys that we'll probably want to get over time. Let's do this. Let's work towards the Elfheim portal. So to get the portal to Elfheim open, we're going to need some Terra Steel. So to get that, we're going to need a terrestrial agglomeration plate and a decent amount of mana. But that's why I'm been building this all up. So we're going to need a bunch of runes, some of which we already have and some of which we don't. So let me go get all the things we need to prep for this, and we'll be right back. So check out the Eterna power on these bad boys. Mana pylons give you a +8 Eterna, and Natura pylons give you a +15. I bet I could replace some of the things I have downstairs with a Natura pylon, and that would give me a lot more available space to work with. That's kind of cool. I think we should absolutely consider some of that. Okay. I'm gonna absolutely be doing that. Yeah, I think so. I see that being in my future. All right, so we're gonna want some air. Let's see, you and you. Is that my living stone with me? I might have forgot to bring that. There we go. Yeah, I'm debating moving that over to here, somewhere so that it's a little bit, so I don't have to, like, run all the way across my basement. It seems like a small thing, but, like, after you do it half a dozen times, you're like, yeah, this could be a little bit faster. And then one of you. Is that the wrong number? Is it 4? You crazy here? Rune of Mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the End of Pearl. Yeah, I had 5 in there, didn't I? Didn't I have 5 in there? Am I crazy? I might be crazy. I missed something. Sweet. Alright, and then how are we doing here? Not terrible. Getting there. That actually should be enough. And then a nice good old lapis block. And we should be able to make our terrestrial agglomeration plate once I get one of these. Beautiful. And then there we go. Nice. Okay. And then this guy needs 5 living stone underneath him and some more lapis blocks. 4 of them to be precise. And then we're also going to need living wood. And what we need is to make 3 glimmering. 1, 2, 3. And then we're also going to need the Elven Gateway Core, which needs some Terra Steel. So we're going to have to make that next. So that just needs a mana diamond. I'll just bring a bunch of those with me. And that should be cool. Yeah, this walk right here could be a little bit shorter. But now I can tell I'm just, like, min-maxing stuff. I'm like, you know, how can we optimize? What do you know? All right, so terrestrial agglomeration plate gets built like this. And this. And that. Perfect. And then we just need some sparks. So let's get a pair of those. Perfect. And what these will do is transfer mana from the mana pool to the agglomeration plate. So I'll attach you there, I'll attach that there, and then we should be good to go. Now I just need half a pool's worth of mana to make our Terra Steel, which is why I saved up a big old mana tablet. Cool. Tablet to pool. And speed it up just a little bit. Nice. Okay. So then we should be good to go here. Should we give this a shot? So you're going to make 1, 2, 3-ish. Close, I missed. 1, 2, 3. And now your mana will transfer from the pool via the Spark Network. And that looks super cool. I always liked Botania. I still think that it's an amazing mod. You know, I mean, there's so much content in this mod, and I rarely do it justice. You know, I usually just kind of rush through it because there's, you know, I've done it so often, but there's a lot of good stuff in Britannia, if we're being honest and fair with each other. Okay, so then you make that, and then we're going to want, what did we want? We wanted pylons, right? I'm going to need 2 mana diamonds. Let's get 2. We'll stick with 2 for now, because I don't have the mana to make another Terra Steel. So 2 mana diamonds. And we have a bunch of mana steel, so that's good. So then 1, 2, and then we can upgrade you to Natura pylons. And that's cool. And then we're also going to need a couple of mana pools to go along with that. And then we're going to need the Elven Gateway Core, which is made like that. And we might need some more living wood. So let me get some oak. I can put away this stuff for now. And I can put you away. And I probably don't need the redstone. And into my backpack can go probably the Britannia book for now. And that should work. Okay. And then let me get some stone as well. If I don't have too much in here, I should have some in here. Cool. Okay. So now what we'll do is get another batch of you guys going. And I have to come up with a good, sneaky, fun way to automate this. I'm sure I'll come up with something. I always just try to come up with a different way. I mean, I've done it many different ways in the past, but, you know. Let's put the portal... Where should we stick the portal? It's an exceptional question. Where should we stick the portal? Kind of like the idea of it being in this wall. That might be a good place for it. I need a better pickaxe, is what I need. And then I probably want to be able to get back there, by the way. So what we'll do is we'll do Elven Gateway Core in the middle. Living wood here, here, here. And we're going to need a few more living woods. Beautiful. Okay. And then some glimmering living wood. And that looks cool. And then behind this, we need a couple mana pools with our 2 Natura pylons sitting on top. And the mana pools need some amount of mana in them. I don't know how much more they need these days. It might not be too much. And I've got a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that you are in tablet to pool mode. And then I had 2 tablets, I thought. There it is. There's the other one. So I'll get a little bit in there. And we'll see if that winds up being enough to open the initial portal. I feel like it used to be like half a pool's in total worth that you needed, but that might no longer be the case. I honestly don't know. And this Gobbergoo lasts a nice long time. Sweet. All right. So is that enough to open it? Maybe? It looks like it was barely enough. It looks like it was barely enough. Cool. I like it. And then if I want to, I can cover up this back wall with some polished diorite. And then we're good to go, right? I like that. All right. Hey, look, portal to Elfheim, which means we can toss our book in there. and unlock some of the Alfheim stuff. Nice. All right, let me flip through what we've got here for new versions of generating flora and see what I can come up with for a cool way to generate mana. All right, so I've got a plan. I've been toying in my mind, like, how can I come up with a way to integrate Ars Nouveau with generating mana? And what I've come up with is this. I'm going to go with the Munch Dew, because it's been a while since I've used this one. This is one that eats up leaves. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to set up a way to make a spell turret that will deploy a sapling and then fell down a tree, but in the opposite order. So fell down a tree, then deploy a sapling. Then I want to let the sapling grow. When it grows, I want to detect that the mana is being generated. And then when the mana is done being generated from the Munch Dew, I want it to do the fell, plant a sapling again. And that'll kind of be the order of operations. So I've got an enchanted spell turret. Next up, I'm going to, let's see, do you. I would like you to be, you just need to be touch, fell, and then place block, right? Set spell. Is that how this works? Spell set. Touch, fell, place, block. Okay, cool. And then we're going to pop into here. Okay. And I set up a nice little area that I haven't cleaned up too much yet. But basically, I'm going to have... That's the thing. We're going to want a chest nearby with some saplings in it. You're going to get this. I'm going to get a button for this. So I'm going to want a chest with some saplings. And then we're going to want some kind of vacuum item picker-upper thingy to pick up. I have an idea. Yeah, I may not need a vacuum item picker-upper thingy. Because I want to use the wood as well. So I'm going to use endoflames. We'll just grab a few of them. And they'll kind of sit here for now. Okay. We're going to need another spreader. Really? I'm out of that stuff? My bad. Let me get the components I need. All right, I'm pretty sure I got everything I need here. So first things first. Did I still have a water spell? What did I do here? Where did I put water? Yeah, I think this was it. Okay, so let me do touch, conjure water again. And, haha, you know what I did forget? Seeds. Classic Dyer. Always forget one thing before I start recording. Every time. I'm always like, I think I prepped everything I need to prep. Oh, nope, I forgot one little thing. All right, so it should be 2, 2, 1, and Gluttony. And that's going to be your Munch. Cool. Boom. 2, 2, 1, and Gluttony. And that'll be your Munch Dew. Sweet. I decided to go with 2 of them because Munch Dews have a little bit of a cooldown timer. And I thought that would be a smart move. Okay, so you're going to bind to here. And then I would like you to have a mana detector like this. And what that does is it emits a redstone signal whenever a mana burst goes through it. Okay. Now we're also probably going to want some kind of sequencer. I think would be a cool course of action. So let's get ready with that. And let's start with just a manual approach, and then we'll go with automating it. Because that's generally the best way you ever want to automate anything, right? Is start with manual, and then... So I'm not going to do an item pickup here. And this is the key. This is the key to this. I'm not going to do item pickup. You ready? So all I'm going to do is put saplings in here, and then I'm going to apply the spell parchment, which is touch, fell, place block, right? So boom. All right, no mana. That's right. We need mana. And I'll set up a warping pylon doohickey here at some point. Okay, so source jar. Cool. Now I'm going to manually grow things. So I've got a grow. Okay, so see how it's shooting out mana and it's constantly doing a redstone signal there? Cool. So the munch dews have mana stored in them, and they are going to have a cooldown period. Okay. And that redstone pulse is going to reset my sequencer. So the plan is that I want the sequencer to trigger the spell turret to do a fell and place block. So that when mana starts firing, it initiates the sequencer somehow, and then every pulse resets the timer on it. And then eventually it's going to stop pulsing like that, and that's when it'll let a redstone signal do this. Okay. Now that was a bad-ish example. And are you guys bound? You are. You're bound to that one, though. I don't know if that's where I want you bound. Well, I kind of do want you bound to that one, to be honest with you. You can't be full, right? You're weird. You're a weird mana spreader. No way you're full. Is it because you're touching the pool? You're touching the pool. Do you think it's because he's touching the pool? Might be. Yeah, I think that's why he was being weird. Okay, that's fair. Okay, so then you guys all bind to this guy. And I don't think they need line of sight to be bound to him. Okay, and our redstone might go along this wall then. So let's grow this guy again. Right? So the key here is that the munch dews eat all the flowers, or all the leaves, but don't drop anything. So we're going to have to manually supply this with saplings, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. And then once that's done, right, and the munch dews have transferred all their stuff out, we trigger the redstone signal, which I'm going to do now. And then the endoflames eat the oak logs that land on the ground and eventually eat them all, right? So you can see, you know, there were more than 3 logs, but that's not a big deal. It eventually burned through them all. Cool? I like that plan. I think that kind of worked. Right? Now remember, there's a cooldown on the munch dews. So, and that's why the redstone signal is important. Because if, for whatever reason, the tree grows before the cooldown expires, which may or may not happen, I don't know, we'll handle it. Cool? Now, here's a question for you. Is if we have a sapling here, there they go. I was kind of hoping one would go and then the other wouldn't. Yeah, but they both kind of go. So having more than one munch dew may not be necessary. I might want multiple rooms. I don't know. We'll figure it out, right? But then that pulses, and then you guys will eat the logs that are nearby. And why didn't you place another sapling? Actually, that's an exceptional question. Oh, because I took all the saplings out of here. That's why. Okay. And then we might need to move the endoflames back a little bit just to make sure that we have enough coverage of everything, but we'll figure that out in a sec. Okay, now here's my question, is if I get you to grow, Can you... I wonder if I gave you a fell with an AoE. Let's see. How does fell get modified? AoE just increases the number of blocks that may be broken at one time. So that's a thing. Let me just make another spell parchment. Okay. And we're going to go touch, spell, AoE times 3, and then place block. And there's a reason I'm doing this, and that is I'd like it if I could have more than one sapling at once. So if I can, that would be cool. If I can't, oh well. So this is my AoE fell, and then this is my normal fell. Okay. And we're going to see the key here of this working would be if using fell on the sapling will break the adjacent thing. Now, I also didn't check anything by way of chunk loading here, so I should probably chunk load at least this guy and that guy over there. Looks like I'm right under my base, actually, which is convenient because it means this area is already chunk loaded. Hooray! That's cool. All right, so you already ate your thing. So now if I set the spell to AoE times 3, no, unfortunately not. So that's not ideal. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't think that would work. I was hoping that it would work, but I didn't expect it to. But that's okay. Right? And then you guys eat the wood. Works for me. And I want you bound to this one. That's important because the mana detector I only want to detect when mana is going through as a result of the leaves being eaten. That's the big key here because that's what's going to trigger my spell turret. Okay. So let me move this guy to the other side and figure out the sequencer component here. And eventually we'll have a faster turret, because right now it takes a long time to burn all the Munchdu's mana out. But this will at least be passive, and that's what's I'm kind of going for. Obviously I have to supply some saplings, but that's not a big deal. Right? It's really not. So then the sequencer that we want to go with is basically going to be this. Okay. You're going to, when a redstone signal is received, loop the cycle once, ignore further pulses. No. When a redstone signal is received, loop the cycle once, restart if new pulse arrives. That's what I want. Okay. So I want you to have a sequence length of 16. Okay. Now that mana purse, let's say it was going every second. Okay. So let's make it a sequence length. Let's make each one of these 5 ticks. Okay. So let's say this is a full second, right? And this is 2 seconds. So we'll make it a sequence length of 8. Okay. So then let's get you to grow and watch what happens. So see how it's resetting every time it gets a redstone signal? Okay. Every time it gets a redstone signal, it resets. And then once the Munchdu's are empty, it'll stop triggering a redstone signal. Okay, see the steps? It keeps getting up to step 4-ish, so it takes about a second, and then it resets. So once it runs out of mana in our Munchdu's here, this one's running low. Okay. And then once it runs out, which is happening right about now-ish, so you can see it kind of iterating across there. Once it stops getting a redstone signal, it's going to be allowed to go all the way. And then it breaks the tree like that. How cool is that? Right? And then the endoflames don't trigger the redstone signal. That's the important piece, because if I bound the endoflames to this spreader, it would be triggering a redstone signal now, which would fire another burst, which we don't want. Right? We don't want that. So now we just have to wait for the tree to grow again, right? So then I grow it, and if it so happens that the tree grows before the munch dews are ready, not a problem. It won't fell the tree, because it only fells the tree after the munch dews start eating the leaves. See? That's kind of cool. I'm just saying. And then once we get a faster spreader here, this sequence will occur more quickly, right? Like, it's taking a long time to burn through all the mana that we produced from eating the tree. But I think that's kind of cool, right? I like that a lot. All right. So now all I really need to do is warp some source over here to supply that turret. And, you know, throw a few more stacks of saplings in here just to hold us over for a while. Yeah, the only bummer is there's no production of saplings that we get as a result. Like, there's no way to generate our saplings. Not the end of the world, obviously, but, you know. See? It worked. It's working. You know? And a nice way to... I could throw grow on the spell turret, like a 3x grow, and that would at least give me a good chance of the sapling growing again. Let me try that real quick. I mean, it's going to obviously cost a lot more mana that way, but I think I'm okay with that, right? I mean, source. Ours source. So what I would want to do then is, instead of the AoE on the fell, what we would do is we would do fell, then we would do place block, and then we would do probably multiple grows, right? How about 4 of them? Does that sound cool? And then you are that guy. You're going to get replaced. And we could try this out, right? Grow times 4. And if I'm lucky, it means that, worst case, it'll just help it grow a little bit faster. And best case, it'll grow instantly, so that it's immediately ready for the next, you know, burst of whatever. So if I do this... Okay, you're going to do your thing. Okay. And then you guys are done eating, so you're on a little bit of a cooldown, which is fine. And then the grow will help. And then how... Yeah, so you're not using much mana right now, but I suspect the addition of 4 grows will probably cause this thing to use a little bit more mana. But that's okay, we're going to set up a warper, and it'll be cool. We're actually producing a healthy amount of mana this way. It's not bad. And I could throw a lens on there too, you know. Let me consider throwing a lens on there after I watch and see how this works out. So shortly we should get the break, and then we'll see if grow did anything for us. Oh, look at that! It did! Exactly what I said. I love it. And unfortunately, that caused the oak logs to be up there. But when the munch dew eats them, they should fall, right? When the munch dew eats them, they should fall. So once the munch dew does its thing, and I'm going to go get a quick lens, I think. Just to make this a little bit faster. So that would be you, and I probably want a potency lens, which is fire, which I'm sure we have in here. Okay. And remember, that's chunk loaded, so this might have ran while I was gone. Oh, it did. Nice. Oh, look, they all accumulated on top of the oak log. Bummer. But I can throw this on here now, and then that'll clear out the munch dews that much faster. And technically, if I wanted this, I could throw a velocity on there too. Like, I could combine, because it only shoots 1 burst. Or I could move the mana pool a little bit closer to the wall. That would also help. Okay. So eventually the oaks will fall down. And if they just expire rather than hitting the ground and getting consumed, it's not like they're producing a whole bunch of mana. It was more so to prevent the oak logs from just accumulating in here. So if they eventually expire, that works too. Cool. And then the Munch Dews just need to wait for their cooldown period, which should work out pretty well. I like this. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit and see if there's any failings of it. But I think overall, it's going pretty well, especially the addition of the grow. I think that was a cool idea. I think that makes it so that we're really just now waiting on the Munch Dews, right? And if I wanted to, what I could do is stagger this a little bit by letting one Munch Dew do the eating. And then, you know, once it eats, I will place the other one down so that they're at least a little bit staggered. I don't know if they'll stay that way, because basically all it would take is one tree not instantly growing to be less staggered, but whatever. It's all good. Right? We do that. And then you're full. And you've got nothing, which makes sense. That's pretty good. I like it. Okay. Sweet. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. For now, that was my sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.